What's up guys, Wazard here, and welcome to episode 1 of Wynncraft. Now in the previous video I went over all 5 of the main classes, and briefly talked about how that there are alternates, and in this episode we are starting anew. And as promised, we get to figure out which class I get to choose. However, before that, I would like to mention that there are 4 other optional settings that you can choose when you're creating your character. The first of which is hardcore, which requires that on some profile you need to have a level 30 character. This is pretty much like playing Minecraft hardcore mode as you'd expect, and it's a decent challenge if you want to prevent dying. Iron Man requires a level 50 character, which as you can see I do not have. You won't be able to interact with other players outside of PvP, which means you have to do everything virtually on your own. The Craftsman, also with a level 50 requirement, you will only be able to use items that you craft yourself instead of pure drops, so you have to create everything that you use. And lastly, Hunted, this one only requires a Hunt's Calling, which is a special condition, and you are going to be permanently hunted with PvP on all the time. Now with that out of the way, which of these classes am I going to choose? Now my current rank is VIP+, meaning I can't choose the Skyseer. However, I will be choosing the Shaman. Now my reasoning for this is, out of the 5 classes, this is by far the newest, being only about, as of the time recording, about a year old. And I think it's the most unique, and it's very interesting to see how it plays, and also, gonna be honest here, a glass cannon is just really fun to play. It's really good for range and spells, which I think makes it good for solo queue, but also a good support class, which, since this series is primarily going to be single player in the MMORPG setting, I figured this would be a good one to just make the pace flow better. And with that, let's begin. Level 1 Shaman. To the province of Wynn we go. Ugh! Well, hey, World of Wazard, you alright in there? Looks like we hit something. I swear I hit the same dang boulder every time I make this trip. Does this mean we have to walk all the way to Ragni from here? It's not that far. It's just a straight path from here. Here, take these as a partial refund for the journey. World of Wazard, if you're ready, let's get moving. Now, here we go. Free reign. We have these 2 brainless people following us. Yeah, so we have Tessim and Aladar, and they just follow us. We are their guide, for more or less. So what do you guys know about Wynn exactly? Same as you. That the war's been getting worse, so the King of Ragni's been recruiting Varuma soldiers. I think I've never seen the Wynn Province before. What do you think it's like? I think we're about to find out. And that we are. This must be the gate marking the border between Furma and Wynn. Yeah, now we see what Wynn is really like, and find out if the stories are true. Here we go. Well, what are you waiting for? Welcome to the province of Wynn. So, this is Wynn, huh? It looks nice. The war clearly hasn't made it this far. Hey, you 3, come over here. And we shall. So to interact with most NPCs, just right-click on them without any item in your hand, or some non-interactable items. A soldier? What are you doing here? There's been a bit of trouble up ahead. You can't expect to get out of here alive if you aren't prepared. There's a cave over here. They often contain useful loot. I'd give it a try if I were you. Enter the cave and find some armor. Let's go inside then. And so we shall. We will enter a treacherous cave that we've never been into before. Oh no. There's no floor. The soldier didn't tell us the cave path was collapsed, so we'll have to jump through. Luckily we're in Minecraft and parkour isn't exactly difficult. But I don't think this jump is exactly possible. I don't think we can make this jump. What if we break that rock on the ceiling? That could open a path for us. That could work. World of Wazard left-click the rock to break it. And with that, it worked. Now we can reach the chest. Right-click the chest. We get some Gudgeon oil and an unidentified helmet. I think that's all we need. Let's head out. So for the most part in this game, if you see a black area, that was weird. I guess there's an invisible wall here. If you see anything like black, it's a teleportation. So canonically, it just means you're leaving the room or whatever. That looks like the stuff. Normally this place is pretty safe, but somehow a few corrupted slipped through here. We're pretty far from the portal, so I don't know how that got here. They even broke the bridge. Anyway, you may have noticed that your loot is currently unidentified. You can identify your item at the item identifier further down the path on the left. Thanks for the warning. I guess we better get going then. World of Wazard, lead the way. I don't want to do that quite yet. I want to admire the landscape for a little bit. Never mind. Apparently I cannot. Okay, thank you. It just teleported me over here. Wonderful. Okay. Item identifier. So, this is an item identifier. If you have items that are in the form of chests of different colors, they are going to be unidentified objects. There are different tiers. There's unique, rare, legendary, as well as set pieces, and I'll be going over those in greater detail later. They each have different attributes and stats, and you cannot use them at all until you identify them, which, of course, comes at a price. This is the Tosach, or whatever. I'm gonna botch a lot of the pronunciations in the series. I can feel it. This is a +2 health bonus, and there is a +2% EXP bonus. You might also notice that there is a combat level minimum. Identified object, well, actually all items for that matter, require a combat level minimum. Combat level just means your general level. You cannot. This is a way of preventing low-level players from having the best items in the game. And with that, I put it on, and as you can see, I got that health buff. Alright, here we go. Alright, if you've identified your item, let's head off. Lead the way. And so we shall. And, uh-oh, the bridge is out. Ah! Oop! Wait, stop! Don't want you falling off that edge. Yeah, there's no way we'll get across here. Unless you happen to, one of you happen to be a bridge repairman back in Fruma. Come to think of it, I don't remember. I know this sounds crazy, but I honestly can't remember anything I did back home. No, you're not crazy. It's the same for me as well. It looks like World of Wazard is suffering the same amnesia as well. It's a mystery for another day, I suppose. For now, World of Wazard, let's look for a way across. There's got to be something we can use to get to the other side. Well, there's a very simple solution here. So, actually, if you want to look over here, this ravine looks really, really cool. You see the caves just snaking across. I really want to just run around them. But, of course, the way out, we see a very, very convenient axe. Just punch it to take it. And you know what? Let's maybe bridge across. Maybe that'll work. Chop up this tree and we get some wood. But also, well, that's convenient. Well, I guess that's one way of getting across. You guys head over the ravine. I'll be right behind you. And now we can cross the ravine. And they're still following like the brain-dead sheep that they are. Just ahead is the entrance to the underpass. Once we get through there, we'll be at the castle. Alright, and so we're heading out. Hello, Mr. Guard. Ah, the new recruits. I'm afraid you won't be able to pass through here yet. What? Why not? Somehow, a bunch of corrupt sieged the underpass. It's not safe to go in unarmed. You three need weapons first. You should be able to get through. You should be able to use the nearby crafting stations to forge your own. Fine. I think I know what to do. World of Wazard, Tassim, follow me. All we need to do is use this workbench to forge your weapon. Use 2 oil and 1 wood to craft 1 relic, and then show it to the guard. So, if you have spears or daggers, you have to use the anvil because those are canonically metal-based weapons, spears and daggers. Whereas the bows, wands, and relics, those all are woodworking, and thus you use them right here. So he said 2 oil and 1 wood. So 1, 2, and 1. And then it does say that it's going to create a relic, about 5 seconds. 2, 3, 4, 5. Plain relic. Slightly chipped. It's not the strongest weapon, but it's enough. Let's go see if this is good enough for the guard World of Wizard. So, finally with the weapons. You might notice that some of them have different attack speeds. So, when you are crafting weapons, you can give different attributes. I'll get more into that later. Primarily, what I used to do on the server is use purely the unidentified weapons, identify them, and use that. However, things have since changed, so I am learning about this system as we go. There are different gathering skills that you have. There are different professions such as fishing, woodcutting, mining, farming, cooking, alchemism, jeweling, scribing, weaponsmithing, tailoring, woodworking, and armoring. All of these allow you to gather and create various items. I will be going over the skill point system later, but for now, let's head out. And maybe let's steal a few things while we're at it here. Take this. And take this. We won't be needing them in the immediate future, but it's good to have for now. This will help us get items in the future for future collecting and crafting. Looks like you are all in order. I hope you know how to use it. You may pass, but be careful. It's still very dangerous. And here we go. The underpass. Uh-oh. They're definitely dead. Hey, look, it's a conveniently shaped head. Whee! What's going on? That must be one of those corrupt the guard mentioned. Don't worry, it's moving so slow that it can't hurt us. Ah, never mind, kill it! Well done, World of Wizard. Let's keep going. Yeah, thanks. It appears as though I'm going to be the only one doing something around here. Because yes, they do have weapons, however, I'm clearly the only one that is capable of using it. Anyone else have a bad feeling? No, not really. I've been here enough times. It's fine. Oh no. Just gonna snipe these guys over here. Damn, okay, I guess I wasn't allowed to kill this guy. Great work, we're almost at the castle, so let's keep going. Alright, here we go. This is relatively free. But I just want to take out all these guys. So, the Shaman, as I mentioned before, shoots an arc 3 projectiles out in a cone. Angling them to hit 2 or more at once is the key to playing this class effectively, at least in terms of just pure using your weapon for DPS. A majority of your damage should come from your attacks. So being able to snipe at a distance and hit multiple targets by angling yourself properly, or getting up close to get 2 or 3 of the shots at a close range is key. Finally, some backup. Help me out here, would ya? What happened? Did you get attacked by the corrupt? Not quite, recruit. I'm well equipped for them. The issue is this cave-in. This isn't seriously the only way through, is it? What are we gonna do? If it wasn't for my injuries, I would just use my weapon to cast a spell on these boulders and get rid of them. ... In my current state, I'm too weak to destroy this boulder. But since you're a shaman, World of Wizard, you can help me. All I need for you is to use your totem spell to cast it, click right, left, right. To be perfectly honest, I don't understand how a totem is gonna work, but I guess we could try. Pew! I feel stronger already. This should be enough for me to get us out of here. Dang! Took all the strength your totem gave me to do it, but I managed to save us. You 3 head on to the castle now. So the interesting thing is, this cutscene is slightly different depending on what class you are. If you are an assassin, or if you are an assassin, a warrior, or I guess I'll explain this in a second. Forced cutscene! Run! Yeah, they're really not. I mean, they're unkillable, but they're not really that big of a threat, to be perfectly honest. But that cutscene is actually different depending on what class you have. If you are a mage, it's more similar because you end up healing the soldier. But if you are an assassin, a warrior, or an archer, you just shoot it yourself. Launch the trebuchet! Kaboom. Thanks for the save. Well, I'm glad everyone made it out okay. Alright, recruits, the castle is straight ahead. Boop. I have no idea why that's not stacking. That's weird. That happens a lot on this server, but let's explore a little bit. It's a little hobbit hole. There's nothing in here, but it looks pretty neat. The attention to detail on this server is one of my favorite aspects of it. There's just so much to look around. Even if it doesn't actually do anything, it's just really cool just to see. Like, look at this giant wheat field. So running over here, you can see that there is a wood cutting section. It's not much that we can do with it, so I'll wait. But there's this nice little tent. It's just fun to parkour around, because in most other games you don't have this level of freedom. But you can see that there's the windmill, you can see that there's this wheat farm over here, jumping down, taking a little bit of fall damage. Let's kill some chickens. They also drop emeralds, so it's pretty convenient. So as you notice there, I only hit one of the projectiles. However, if I were to go up and just hit all three, the chicken would die instantly, or the Groog, I'm sorry. Get that experience. Just gonna steal this gathering rod as well, because if you left click, you can get oil. If you right click, you can get meat. This is the oil that I was referring to when I had to craft my relic. So if I were to left click over here, so I have fish over here. Let's get some oil, because oil would actually be pretty useful for crafting later on. And I'm level 2 in fishing now, so now I have faster gathering for both the gudgeon and the unprocessed gudgeon for refining. And with that, I'm going to take another quick sidetrack, because this mushroom area is really neat. You can see that this is probably netherwort. Also, it's worth noting that this server is on 1.9 up to 1.16 as of this recording, meaning only 1.9 and on only 1.9 blocks are used, and it's my guess is that 1.8 combat wouldn't really work with how these weapons work. If you can see that this says a slow attack speed, so it has minor fatigue 9. That I believe the normal attack speed is minor fatigue 5, and that way you can't spam any of your weapons. Well, we made it. Guess we better head inside and talk to the king. And that we shall. Now entering Ragni, the gate closes behind us, and now I don't have those two people following me anymore. Finally! Anyway, let's just kind of interrupt the mess hall for a little bit. And ooh, cake. If only I can eat this. It would be a really funny thing if you could just eat all this stuff, and then the king would get mad, and I'm pulling out all the chairs. Haha. Here are all the guards. Gas tier. And here we are. Welcome. Ah, you must be the last recruit. Please come over here and speak to me. No. Okay, fine, he's a king. Probably best not to make enemies out of him. How are you doing, King Squidward? Hello, your friends just left. They told me quite the story about what happened to you three on the way here. Welcome to the Wynn Province. This is the noble fort of Ragni, one of the oldest and most influential cities in the province. Your job as a soldier of Wynn is to stop the growth of the monsters that are ravaging the province. You might want to train a little more before, though. Many lives are lost every day. Anyway, good luck. If you are ever lost, use information redacted cannot compute, as it can be very useful if you do not know. If you are lost, and it is very useful if you don't know where to go, take this. 1 Ragni teleport scroll. 2. It'll bring you back here if you use it. With that, I am now level 2. And bonuses include an additional +5 to my maximum HP, access to another quest, as well as 2 skill points. What are skill points, you might ask? And then this message is just the quest reward message. Skill points. There are 5 different types. There's strength, dexterity, intelligence, defense, and agility. Strength is exactly what it says it does. Is exactly what you'd think it would do. It will increase damage for every point. Dexterity increases the % chance that you will do a critical hit. A crit in this game does double damage. Intelligence will reduce mana cost for spells. Defense reduces damage that you take. And agility increases the chance that you will dodge attacks. Now you might also notice that there are elements attached to these. Upgrading any given one of these stats will also upgrade that respective element. There are plenty of other things to talk about when you're discussing these elements, but certain weapons have different elemental attributes that increase your damage, and other weapons, other pieces of armor, have elemental reduction on it. All of this is to say, there's a lot to cover mathematically, and we'll get to it when we get to it. But for now, I think I will be putting both into strength, because as a glass cannon, I kind of want to min-max my defenses. Another point is certain pieces of armor or certain weapons might also have skill point requirements to use. You are unable to equip certain pieces of armor unless you have the minimum stats required in addition to combat level. So keep that in mind when you're getting items. And with that, let's exit the castle. Welcome to Ragni. And there's the castle, and there's the mountain. One of the two great fortresses in Wynn. Ragni has survived over 1,000 years of war, sometimes barely. It is the hometown of the 146-year-old hero Bob, who hasn't been seen in 16 years. And with that, we made it into the province of Wynn. In the next episode, we will be exploring the city of Ragni, as well as doing some quests and learning more about how this city functions, and more about the world as a whole. And I will see you then.